Hello all, it's Melinda. I am bringing you today a page maps sketch for June. This is the sketch I was assigned. The Secret Not Secret Kit Club was asked to be the guest scrappers for this month, and we are going to use our kits. I just got this in the mail, and this is the kit that was especially designed just for me by Christina, and I will leave a link below for you to see that. And I've decided that my photos are still uploading from my phone. So if you hear a little noise, that's what it is. Instead of doing 3 photos, I'm going to do 2 and maybe some flips because I have more photos that I want, but they're not as important, but they help tell the story. This Fearless came in my kit, and I decided that I'm going to make that part of my title. Be Fearless. These Pink Fresh BU puffy alphabets in rose gold came in my kit. And I have a little bit of bits and bobbles that came in my kit. I'm not sure if they're going to make it on the layout or not. I have this white vine. And this is the most awesome thing ever. It is acetate film strip. And it came in this cute little case. But once I take it out, it'll never go back in. I also got these little stars. Christina knows I'm into stars, so I usually get stars in every kit. These are the papers that I got. And I think that I'm going to go with a peachy, this color, rosy color, and black for the parts of the layout. And I went ahead and, because I got rose gold Vicky Bouton texture glaze, I decided that for this white part, I wanted it to have some texture. So I tried a few different ones. I'm going to slide these underneath here. And I'll play with which one I like the best. I mixed the rose gold and the iridescent Vicky Bouton glaze that I had. And I created like sequence waist. This one's a little bit darker, has more of the rose gold in it. And this is a completely different one, but I didn't know if I would want this instead. So I did a little bit of that. And I'm thinking that I might use this for the strip, this for the background, and then the white would be that. So I'm going to pause this, get my photos printed, and figure out what else I need to do. And then we will stick you on fast forward so you can watch this all take place. Okay, I've got my photos that I want printed, and I think these are the top 2, but then I have 3 other ones that I want to put underneath. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that because I don't have the right size flip-flops. So, but we're just going to go with it and figure out what we're going to do. But I'm thinking that it's going to go something like this. We're going to set them aside for right this second. I'm going to speed things up here. I'm just showing you kind of the papers that I used. I'm deciding right now how wide I want this to be, and I settle on about 4 inches, but I end up wanting to rip it So I'm going to cut the strip off the bottom and rip a tiny piece off. And then I'm going to lay the photo on just so I can get enough space on each side. Just rip it. It doesn't give much texture, but it gave a little bit more than just me cutting it straight. I've cut that sequins textured paper down to, I want to say, about a 10 by 9, 10.5 by 9.5, something like that. It's not quite square. Now I'm going to try to play with the tag idea. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that from the sketch. I didn't know if I was going to get a cut file or whatnot. But I decided to go with as close to the sketch as I can. This layout is about something that was pretty emotional to me. I dropped my college freshman daughter off for her summer internship a couple states away, and it was emotional for me. So I thought it was easier to just stay as close to the sketch as I could so that I didn't have to worry too much about anything else and deal with the emotions as they happened. I'm thinking that I need to have a little bit of black, but the solid black did not work for me. The striped I like, but that heart's going to be a problem, so I'm going to try to fix that later. I'm just cutting the reinforcers out of the smaller pinkish rose-colored sheets. And I think I need a black reinforcer. And I decide I like in the sketch how the tag has that extra little piece of fabric above the hole. So I'm going to recreate that on two of them just by cutting a little slip of paper. Unsure of which two they're going to be, but I'm laying them out there. And this is where I decide that I'm just going to cut the top of the tag off another one and glue it on. In real life, you can kind of see it, but not that close. I don't think anyone's going to care. Now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to tie these with. I want them to be a little bit different on each of them, but yet not complicated and crazy. I decide that this is the tag that's not going to have any string, but I want it to have a little bit of detail right there. So I'm going to use these two hearts. And I know I want to use that arrow. And right off the bat, I realized that two flips aren't going to work. I'm going to do the bottom as a flip because the title tag goes over top of the photo. And that's just not going to work if I have to flip the photo. I'm not sure where I went here. Oh, I went to find vellum. I decide that even though the sketch does not have any extra layers on the photo, that I want to use this map vellum paper to kind of highlight the photos and also to start the photo book that I'm going to put on the bottom so that both photos look a little bit similar. I'm going to try this, but it didn't quite work out like I wanted it to. Basically just creating a fold. And I'm just going to trim it up so it's as close to the photo as the other one. And then I realized when I get the photos in there, I need a third sheet in order to put 3 photos in. So I decide that I don't have enough map vellum, so I'm going to just get kind of a modelly colored vellum to add inner pages. So this book is taking on a life of its own without me even trying. I'm going to try to cut it at the right size. I'm going to sew down the center with the magic of television. There it is. And just fold them. I do end up putting some washi tape on the center because I was afraid the stitches would maybe rip through eventually. And then I realized that, guess what? I need more photos to fill my book, because I wasn't thinking that I was going to need more photos. So I've printed some more photos from the trip that I thought might help with the story. And I'm putting them in no particular order, because I'm not actually going to journal about any of these photos that are in here. These are just kind of supporting the fact that she moved to a new city for the summer. I think the photos kind of speak to themselves, for themselves. I'm thinking that that's the last picture I need. This is where I'm going to put the washi tape in there. And I picked a black stripy one just to add some color. And I need one more photo. And I decide that how am I going to make this apparent that I need to flip it. So I use my McGill punch to create a tab out of the light pale pink paper. I'm going to slip it behind these photos in the book. And I'm going to put the date there, kind of mimicking the date that they have on the sketch at the bottom. I just stapled it on. There's no rhyme or reason to how much white I leave. Some of it's kind of crooked, but I figure it's inside the book and no one's going to be able to see it. Now, I want this book to stay sturdy on here, so I'm going to use my score tape. I figured that will hold it the best. But I have some time before I can adhere to everything, because I'm still trying to figure this out. I want to spread the rose gold around, so I'm using parts of the thicker sheet, the sticker sheet. Just use my glue pen to put the enforcer down. I kind of like the tags having that extra little piece of paper. I might do that more often. Sorry, I got my big head in the way. I'm just going to staple that one on. Now, it doesn't matter to me how long these tags are, because I'm going to tuck them in at whatever length I need them to be. I decide that the Fearless needs just to be stapled. There's really no easy way to glue those down, those acetate letters. Just going to trim that up. Seemed a little wampus, cattywampus. Now, trying to get these to line up perfectly is not the best thing, but seeing that bottom one is a book and is not really a single photo, it works out. I'm struggling with how do I put these in here where I want them and adhere this sheet down, because they have to be attached. I'm going to tack this lightly, and then I'm going to stitch it on in just a white embroidery floss. I should say upholstery thread. Now, I thought I'm going to peel this up and stick this down, but then I remembered I got to put the tags underneath of it, so that's where my quandary comes in. So I'm going to place them yet again. It seems like I placed these like 20 times, and each time they ended up being in a little bit different position. So I had to make sure that the stripe tag, the hole did not fall underneath the descending of the F. I decided to add more emphasis to the title. I was going to make that tie be out of the rickrack, but I want it to be a little bit shorter. I thought that just added more emphasis to the title. This is just kind of a mauve rose hemp from my mind's eye. Getting it to tie in a nice bow is not that easy with hemp. And this is just baker's twine. And this is the tag at the bottom is where my journaling is going to go. So I thought that having black on the two things that I want you to see the most made sense. This is just white wax cording. And I do this twice because when I cut it, it kind of wants to stick up. So I retie it so that it lays down flat. My fear was that I was going to stick these to it and then it was going to be not situated properly on the page that wide strip was, and it would be kind of messed up. And that score tape is not forgiving too much when you make a mistake. So that seemed to work out fairly well. And that still folds. I'm just going to write the date. My marker didn't want to write it first. I decided I want some of them to lay flat and others to be a little bit puffed up. So I'm going to take some fun foam and just adhere it down. I'm going to draw some lines with pencil so they can be erased for my journaling. Kind of get an idea of where that's going to be. I always start my journaling out in pencil so that I can make any mistakes, spelling or spacing, and be able to erase. I wrote my journaling out beforehand so I kind of knew what I wanted to say. It says, limit your regrets to eating too much ice cream the night before and being tired from staying out late with your favorite people. And it's just easy to erase on these kind of tags, all the pencil lines. I was going to staple that, but I realized that it wasn't going to sit high enough to be stapled down to the tag, so I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to tidy my space up just a touch. And I'm going to slow it down so you can get a good look at everything on a slow close-up. I was worried that would keep flopping up and not lay flat, but I think it lays pretty flat. Wipe all the extra stuff off. So there's the sketch. Just comparing. And here's my version of it. I want to thank Becky from Page Maps for this opportunity to be part of the Scrappy team to release her sketches this month. You will get some close-ups at the end of this video, still shots of them. And with that, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.